Okay, good morning, students. Today we have to see there is another topic, the gram staining procedure. What are the techniques mostly present in a bacterial staining? The first one is gram staining procedure. We have to see one by one. Here, the gram staining method, it's very important to differentiate bacteria. This is a staining to differentiate the bacteria mostly developed by a Danish physician Christian Gram in the year 1884. A staining mostly developed for a bacterial staining developed by a scientist, a Danish physician Christian Gram. There is a name only, the staining it will called in 1884. It is a differential staining procedure and it is classifies bacteria into two classes. What are they? Gram positive and gram negative. In which way it will be called the gram positive or gram negative? The steps involved in gram staining procedure is mostly present in a table. The gram positive bacteria, first of all, the gram positive bacteria retain the crystal violet and appear a dark violet. A gram positive bacteria, it retain the crystal violet and appear a dark violet, whereas the gram negative type lose the crystal violet and when counter stained by a safranin appear red under the microscope. There is a difference between the gram positive and gram negative bacteria. So some of the techniques, some of the procedures are there. We will see one by one. Okay, the techniques are in which way you have to stain the bacteria. First of all, you take the smear of the bacterial culture. Prepare a smear of bacterial culture. What do you mean by the smear? Here you can put a slide. A one drop of solution is taken, a curd or anything is there. There is a bacteria, it will present the bacterial culture. You can dip the drop in the slide. Then you have to force to make a smear, one smear. There is a prepare a smear of bacterial culture, then stain with the crystal violet for 30 seconds. Then you have to pour one drop of or two drop of crystal violet for 30 seconds for staining. Then rinse in distilled water 2 seconds. Then you have to apply water, then it will leave, or you have to rinse in distilled water for 2 seconds. A smooth distilled water rinse is there. Then next go for your grams iodine for 1 minute. You have to add another solution, grams iodine for 1 minute, then leave it. Then rinse in distilled water. Again you have to rinse in distilled water. Then wash in 95% ethanol or acetone for 10 to 30 seconds. Then you have to wash it with 95% ethanol or acetone for 10 to 30 seconds only. Then rinse in distilled water. You have to remove what are the precipitates are there. You have to remove in distilled water. Then you have to add safranin for 30 to 60 seconds only. Then rinse in distilled water. And blot. Then you have to blot it in filter paper. Then observe the under microscope. You have to observe the bacteria in a microscope. These are the procedures involved in gram staining. Then some of the bacteria, it will applied crystal violet and safranin. Two stains are applied for this staining procedure. Then what are the bacteria obtain their crystal violet and what are the bacteria are obtain their safranin solution is there. In this manner you have to differentiate which one is positive bacteria, which one is negative bacteria. Then what are the differences between the gram positive and gram negative bacteria? It depends upon the characteristic features. First of all, the cell wall, rigidity of cell wall, chemical composition, outer membrane and periplasmic space suspectively to penicillin, the nutritional requirements and flagella, lipid and lipoproteins and lipopolysaccharides. This is the way how they are differentiate. First one, cell wall. Here the gram positive bacteria thick layered with 0.015 micrometer and 0.02 micrometer is present. Then in gram negative only 0.0075 micrometer and 0.012 micrometer is there. There is a thin Then rigidity of cell wall. What is the rigidity of cell wall? Rigid due to presence of peptidoglycan. That is a smooth, elastic in nature. There is a rigid due to some of the rigidity it will occur in with the help of peptidoglycans. Elastic due to presence of lipoprotein polysaccharides mixture. Then chemical composition. What are the chemicals present in that cell wall? Peptidoglycan 80% is there, polysaccharide 20%, decoic acid present also. Here in this bacteria, peptidoglycans 3 to 12 rest in polysaccharides and lipoproteins. Decoic acid is absent in gram negative bacteria. Then outer membrane is totally absent in gram positive. In negative it is present. Periplasmic space, there is a space between this the plasma membrane and the cell wall. There is absent. In a gram negative it will present. The susceptibility to penicillin antibiotic highly susceptible, then low susceptible in gram negative. The nutritional requirements relatively complex, relatively simple in nature. Flagella contain 2 basal body rings, contain 4 basal body rings only is there. Then lipid and lipoproteins are very low and negative bacteria very high. Lipopolysaccharides absent and gram positive negative bacteria it will present. These are the two difference between the gram positive and gram negative. Then next one is life processes in bacteria. What are the life processes in bacteria? First you will take respiration. There are 2 types of respirations are found in bacteria. Majorly aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration mostly presents. Aerobic respiration with the help of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration without oxygen. That is the difference. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Then aerobic respiration. What do you mean by aerobic respiration? These bacteria require oxygen. The bacteria which will require oxygen as terminal acceptor and will not grow under anaerobic condition. The bacteria require oxygen as terminal acceptor and will not grow under anaerobic condition without oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, it will not grow. There is aerobic respiration. Example, there is Streptococcus bacteria. Streptococcus, a chain-like bacteria is there. Then obligate aerobis. Obligate aerobis. Some micrococcus bacteria, small coccus bacteria species are obligate aerobics. That is, they must have oxygen to survive. They only require oxygen to survive. Then anaerobic respiration without oxygen. These bacteria do not use oxygen for their growth and metabolism, but obtain their energy from fermentation reaction. Only they require energy from fermentation reaction. Example, Clostridium. Clostridium botulinum is that. Okay, the next one is facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes. There are bacteria that can grow either using oxygen as a terminal electron trans acceptor. It will use the oxygen as a terminal acceptor, or anaerobically using fermentation reaction. It will also use the fermentation reactions also there to obtain the energy. When a facultative anaerobe such as E. coli is present at a site of infection like an abdominal abscess, it can rapidly consume all available oxygen. It will use all the oxygen and change into anaerobic metabolism. Then it will lead to metabolism, fermentation process, producing an anaerobic environment, and thus allow the anaerobic bacteria that are present to grow and cause some of the diseases. Aerobic respiration also there, anaerobic respiration also there somewhat. Example, Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Okay, the next one is capnophilic bacteria. What do you mean by the capnophilic? They use carbon dioxide. The bacteria which require carbon dioxide for their growth, that are called as capnophilic bacteria. They need carbon dioxide. Example, Campylobacter. The nutrition. On the basis of their mode of nutrition, bacteria are classified into 2 types, namely autotrophs and heterotrophs. The bacteria are classified into 2 ways. First one is autotrophs and heterotrophs. So what do you mean by autotrophs? They prepare their own food material. They are called, that the bacteria are called autotrophic bacteria. Bacteria which can synthesize their own food material, they are called autotrophic bacteria. They may be further subdivided into photoautotrophic bacteria. First, photo, light. With the help of light, These bacteria, they prepare their own food material. Bacteria use sunlight as their source of energy to synthesize food. They may be photolithotrophs. Photolithotrophs. The hydrogen donor is an inorganic substances. The hydrogen donor is very very essential. It is an inorganic substances, photolithotrophs. Then green sulfur bacteria. Here in photolithotrophs, first one is green sulfur bacteria depending upon the hydrogen donor. In this type of bacteria, the hydrogen donor is H2S and possess pigment called Bacterioviridae. Example, chlorobium. The hydrogen donor is H2S. Then only it will classified green sulfur bacteria. There is a hydrogen donor, disulfide. Then hydrogen donor H2S. Then purple sulfur bacteria. For bacteria belonging to this group of hydrogen donor is disulfide. That is bacteriochlorophyll is present. Chlorophyll containing chlorosomes are present. Example, chromatium. Here green sulfur bacteria is there. That is the hydrogen donor is H2S sulfate. Hydrogen sulfate, this one is purple sulfur bacteria, thiosulfate is there. Bacteria chlorophyll is present. Chlorophyll containing chlorosomes are present. Example, chromatium. Then next one is photoorganotrophs. Then photoorganotrophs. They utilize organic acids. Or alcohol as hydrogen donor. They utilize organic acids or alcohol as a hydrogen donor. For example, purple non-sulfur bacteria. Here purple sulfur bacteria is there before. Here purple non-sulfur bacteria is the Rhodospirillum. Hemoautotropic bacteria. There is another one is hemoautotropic bacteria. They do not have photosynthetic pigment, hence they cannot use sunlight energy. They do not have photosynthetic pigments. They cannot use the sunlight energy. This type of bacteria obtain energy from organic and inorganic substances. They obtain the energy from where? Organic substances or inorganic substances. Then hemolithotrophs. Photolithotrophs. Another one is hemolithotroph with the help of chemicals. The type of bacteria oxidize inorganic compound to release the energy. Example, sulfur bacteria, Thiobacillus thioxidans. These are the examples. Some of the technical terms are there. You have to remember all those things. Sulfur bacteria, Thiobacillus thioxidans. Iron bacteria, Ferrobacillus ferroxidans. Hydrogen bacteria, Hydrogenomonas. Nitrifying bacteria, Nitromonas and Nitrobacter. You are already familiar about the Nitrobacter, Nitrosomonas. Then hemoorganotrophus. This type of bacteria oxidize organic compounds to release energy. That is called organic components. That is inorganic components, organic components. Example, methane bacteria, Methanococcus. Acetic acid bacteria, Acetobacter. Lactic acid bacteria, Lactobacillus in a curd. Lactobacillus is there in milk. Then heterotrophic bacteria, you know, there is a different type of mode of nutrition it will occur. That is called heterotrophic bacteria. There are parasites, Mycobacterium, saprophytes. There are parasites and saprophytes. For example, Bacillus mycoides are symbiotic rhizobium in root nodules of leguminous crops. In leguminous plants, this rhizobium is there. Then, reproduction in bacteria. There is another way, reproduction is there. What are the reproduction techniques that will present in bacteria? Bacteria reproduce is actually by binary fission, conidia and endosperm formation. There are three ways the bacteria is reproduced: binary fission and conidia and endosperm formation is there. First one, among these binary fission is most common in bacterial reproduction. First one, binary fission. What do you mean by binary fission? Binary, two. It will separate into two ways. Under favorable condition, the cell divides into two daughter cells. It will divide in a favorable condition. It will give two daughter cells. The nuclear material divides first. The nucleic acid material is divides first, and it is followed by formation of a simple median construction construction it will occur in a center which finally results in the separation of two cells. The construction it will occur in a center, then it will divide it into two cells. Finally it will separate into two cells. That is called binary fission. You can see there is a bacterial cell, chromosomes also there, cell wall, there is nucleide material. First of all the nuclear material is divided, then it will go for cytoplasm division is there. Then daughter cells, it will divide into two daughter cells. That is called binary fission. Then endosperm formation is there. The endosperm cyst it will present. The thick wall is there. Endosperm also the thick wall normal bacteria cells. A thick wall also it will present. That is called endosperm. Inside this endosperm is there. Then endosperm formation. During favorable conditions only the bacteria produce endosperm. A bud-like structure it will produce. That is called endospores. It will produce inside the cells. That is called a spore-like particles. It will present a spore-like projection. It will present. That is called endospores. Endospores are produced in Bacillus macasterium, Bacillus sapricus, and Clostridium tetani. Endospores are thick-walled resting spores. Endospores are thick-walled and resting spores. During favorable conditions, they germinate and form bacteria. During favorable conditions only, they germinate and it will give a bacteria. Then sexual reproduction. Not only asexual reproduction also there. Typical sexual reproduction also involving the formation and diffusion of gametes is optioned in bacteria. Typical sexual reproduction involving in a formation and diffusion of gametes. A usual gamete formation is not there. However, a gene recombination, that is a sexual reproduction. A gene recombination it will occur in bacteria by three different methods. There are conjugation, transformation, transduction. There are three methods in sexual method. Conjugation, transformation, transduction. First one, conjugation. What do you mean by conjugation? Conjugate, join together. J. Leidenberg and Edward L. Tatum demonstrated conjugation in E. coli in the year 1946. This method is mostly used for gene transfer. The donor cell gets attached to the recipient cell with the help of pili. With the help of pili, the bacteria it will attach to the another recipient cells. The pilus grows in size and forms the conjugation tube. The pilus grows, then it will produce a tube-like structure. Then it will conjugate to another bacterial cells. The plasmid of donor cells which has the F plus, that is fertility factor. Plasmid of donor cells which has the F plus fertility factor undergoes replication. Only one strand of DNA is transferred to the recipient cells. Only one strand of DNA. Here double stranded is there. That is a one strand only DNA is transferred to the recipient cell through conjugation tube. That through the pili. The recipient completes the structure of double stranded DNA by synthesizing the strand. That completes the strand acquired from the donor. There is only one strand is there. That one strand it will synthesize. There is another strand. A complementary DNA strand is only produced from the donor. There is a conjugation pilus. There is F cells and F minus cells is the chromosome and F plasmids. Here from the F cells, the plasmids one strands only it will through one cells only pass through this another F minus cells. That the one cells it will synthesize another strands. F plus cells also it will synthesize another cells. That's all. That is the conjugation. Through this conjugation tubes only it will transfer. That is a type of sexual reproduction it will occur to bacterials. The next one is transformation.